Hi everybody, welcome back to the Quarter Acre Homestead. We are planting our tomatoes that we grew from seed, and so let's get started. Alright, so we had another video where we started these seeds indoors about a month and a half ago, 6 weeks ago. So in our zone 9, it's now the first week of May, which is when we like to plant. I've been watching the outdoor temperatures. Nighttime temperatures are right about 50. I don't really want it to go below that when I have the tomatoes in the garden. So I'm gonna also on this video, I'm going to cut and show you where we transplanted our tomatoes from the little cells up into a 4-inch pot. That was after 2 weeks. So this is what the tomato plants look like after about 2 weeks, and when they get their second set of leaves. So these don't really count as leaves. They're called, like, I can't remember the name, something with a C. This is the first set of true leaves. When they get those, the roots are big enough you can transplant them into a 4-inch pot where they'll grow for another month or so before we plant them. So my sweetheart is transplanting them all for me, and look at all these that she's done. We have, I don't know, close to 80. Good job, honey. And then now, this is after 6 weeks, and our tomato plants now look like this. There's some even blossoms on them already. And so what we do, there's a few things we're going to do here, and you don't need all of this, but we've dug a big hole. Kind of what I've done is looked at the height of this tomato plant, and I'm going to bury most of it because I want lots of roots to grow off the stem. Tomato plants grow roots off of the stem. So I'm going to trim these lower leaves off, and then we're going to put a few things into the planting hole to help the tomato get a good start. So it's kind of optional, but I'm going to put a scoop of compost.
Oh, just keeps falling.
That's alright, just leave it. This is a scoop of compost from our compost pile. We put all our veggie scraps in it and stuff like that. So I'm just going to dump that in the hole. That'll help it get a good start. Then we're just going to take this out, and it might be what they call root bound. The roots are wrapped around a little bit, so you can kind of pull those out a little bit just so that they realize they can now grow out into the ground. So you just want to break them up a little bit.
I want to do that.
You can help me on the next one. And then we're going to set that in, and then we have a few more things we're going to put in there. Titus, you can help me with this. So this is mycose. It helps mycorrhizal activity. So it helps it's kind of a fungus that grows on the roots and helps the root system get really big and grow really big plants. So, hang on, before you dump that, I actually want this to be deeper. That compost moved it up, so I'm gonna scoop that out a little bit and then pour some of that right on here. Just some of it, because you really want this to be touching the roots. Okay? Put the rest of it on there. Okay, we really want that to be touching the roots, but close enough. Okay?
Can I have it turned out?
Okay, Charlie, you can do a scoop of Epsom salts. This is Epsom salt, or it's not really salt. Salt would be bad for your garden. It's magnesium sulfate. Dump that in there. Move into our hole. And actually do another one. So we're kind of doing 2 tablespoons of that. Excuse me, Titus. Okay, I'm gonna do this last one. This is just some organic fertilizer from the store. If you have chickens, you can just use a little bit of your chicken manure or whatever. We're just trying to give the tomato a good start. So we're just gonna do a tablespoon of that. Mix that up a little bit. And
we're doing it.
We're gonna put some water in there to help the roots make good contact with the soil. And then Titus, you can start scooping some dirt back in there.
That's scary.
Slide it back in. More? Okay, that's good. And that's how we plant tomatoes. So what I'm gonna do actually, I like to leave kind of a low spot here. So when I water, it catches the water and lets it all drain down by the tomato. And so the rest of this dirt I will kind of just leave higher around the outside. So it's easy to get a lot of water down in there.
Oh, worm!
Yeah, worm.
A worm!
And so we're gonna plant the rest of our tomatoes that way. We have another video about trellising tomatoes if you're at that point. But I think that's it for this video. Let us know if you have any questions. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let us know what you're growing in the comments below. Alright, see you next time. Alright, so it's a little hard making videos with kids, but it's nice to have them out in the garden helping out. So just a couple things I wanted to mention. One, by digging the hole so deep and burying most of the plant, and breaking the leaves off and putting it just super deep into the ground, that's helpful later in the year, like during the summer when you don't have much water, when it's not raining a lot, because the roots are really down deep into the ground. So even if it doesn't rain for a week and you don't water, their roots are deep enough that it's still damp down there. So that's really helpful, really good for the tomatoes. Another thing, when we were putting stuff into the planting hole, you really want to mix that stuff into the soil a little bit, just so you don't shock the plant or burn it with too much fertilizer or anything like that. So other than that, let me know if you have any questions. This is how we like planting our tomatoes. Also things like aged cow manure, horse manure, vermicompost are really good for tomatoes. Alright, I think that's it. Thanks.